Hi everyone, this is Donna from Hollywood, California. It's not just paint, it's art by Donna. And this is part 2 of my look at Resiners G3 resin curing machine. And yes, we're calling this the good, the bad, and the beautiful. Before we dive in, I thought you'd like to take a quick look at all that I've done here. You might remember from the part 1 that beautiful UV resin and how great this machine handled using the 30-second time lapse. What you didn't see was that can go up to 10 minutes. That's right, folks. You can go with 10 minutes on the UV resin setting. Now, before I sing praises on this machine, let me confess, I did make a bit of a human error. I was pouring these epoxy resin pieces and I cured them using only 2-hour mode. I should have used the 3 hours. So when I demolded, boy was I surprised. I just couldn't imagine what I did wrong. I put some on my heating mat and some in the curing machine. And you're gonna see what happens right before your eyes. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what we have here. That machine has went off. Everything has cooled down. Everything seems nice and ready to be demolded. Do this one first. Oops, sorry. Just gonna move that over. Make it easy for me to demold here. And at this point, the resin is soft, but I've taken it off my heating mat after 2 hours and the resin is soft. That's normal. Okay. Wow, look how pretty that came. Let me turn my mold over. Put that over here. And look how clear that came. That looks beautiful. Okay. And I'm a little disappointed with these here. I didn't fill them to the top. That's user error. But let's see. Feels a little soft. Okay. I'm wondering if I should leave these a little overnight. Turns out I should have set it for 3 hours for the size of my pour. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, you read that manual. Lesson learned on my part. I skimmed through it and I thought it said 2 hours. So here I am demolding. And what do I get? Soft resin pieces. I really thought I mixed my resin wrong, but I went back and I read the book. You see me trying every which way to save these projects. And you know what? Some of them didn't look so bad the following day. And the ones on the heating mat did work out a little better. I left them on the mat longer. Here I am mixing up a new batch of resin the next day. Yep, we're gonna start all over again. Anew. It's a new day. Let's do this. The real Part 2 epoxy resin. Let's get right on to the buttons. Turning it on. You have to hold your finger on there. When you see the flat on the top flashing, that's for the flat. You can raise the numbers by pressing the plus, lowering the numbers, the minus. You want to shut it off, press that button and hold your finger down. Press the button again. See the flat? If it's, there you go, you're on to the tall. 2 hours. Raise the button. Press that plus sign. You have 3 up to 4 hours. Lowering it, you press the minus sign. Keep going. It goes down to 1 hour. Goes to 30 minutes. Press the button off. Keep your finger on it. That's how it works. Put your finger on that button. There you go. Flat, tall, UV resin. 30 seconds. You want to raise it. Keep pressing that plus button. Keep it going. That's going to go on to 10 minutes if you keep raising it. Keep your finger on it. It'll go to 10 minutes. There you go, up to 10 minutes. When it's off, you'll see it flashing. If you take that top off, it flashes. Sorry about that. Seems I was off camera, so let's do that again. And it goes from 149 and it goes all the way down to 68. I'll bring you down. Yeah, 68. And that's in flat and tall. Now you're going to want to bring that back up. Let's put it on tall. And you're going to want to bring that back up. To 140. It doesn't go back on its own. Okay. So I'll show you that. 149. And if I shut it off and put it back on, it goes down to 140 again. So just so you know that, if you raise it and you think it's going to go back to where you put it to, it doesn't. It's going to go down back to 140. And let's shut it off again. So you've all seen resin poured into molds previously. So I'm going to give you some other information here. And here's some things that a lot of people don't realize. Smaller molds often take longer to cure than bigger ones. Why? because epoxy resin cures through an exothermic reaction. That means it generates heat as it hardens. Larger volumes of resin trap more heat, which speeds up the cure. Smaller amounts don't build up the same warmth, so the reaction moves more slowly. On top of that, smaller pores have more surface area compared to their volume, which means they lose heat to the air faster. And without that warmth, that extra warmth, the curing process just takes its sweet time. So if you're doing small jewelry pieces, keychains, small charms, be patient. Or use a controlled warming method, like the G3, to help them along. The G3 from Resiners is a controlled environment. Now, larger quantities of resin, as you saw, when I mixed my resin, I had it in a larger cup, but then I came out and I poured that larger cup into 2 other smaller cups. So in all, I have 3 cups here of resin. That is the reason I did it. Too much resin in one container can build up too much heat. Pouring a big bucket of resin all at once can be tricky, and that's the opposite reason. Too much heat too fast can cause yellowing, it causes bubbles, or it can even crack. That's why professional resin artists will often split large batches into smaller cups before pouring. It keeps the heat buildup under control, it gives you more working time, and it helps avoid those not so pretty curing disasters. It's a simple step, but it can save your entire project. Temperature plays a big role in how your resin behaves. Most epoxy resins like to cure at around 70 to 75 degrees. That's 21 to 24 Celsius for my friends outside the US. If your workspace is cooler than that, curing will slow down dramatically. And if it's too warm, the resin can set too fast. This is where the Resiners G3 really shines, because it doesn't just blast heat, it holds it steady. It holds it to an even temperature. That means more predictable results when you're curing your UV resin in seconds or your epoxy resin over hours. This is why the G3 curing machine is so revolutionary. And that is why I am so impressed with this machine. It's its first in the resin industry to handle both UV resin and epoxy resin in one unit. And now that's a game changer in my eyes. Let's start with this. And you don't hear me using that word game changer. You have never seen me use it before. I'm not one of those people that throw that word around. For UV resin, you can choose curing times anywhere from 30 seconds to 10 minutes. depending on the thickness and the transparency of your piece. Transparency counts. For epoxy resin, you've got a choice between flat and tall molds, each with adjustable curing times up to 4 hours. That means you can tailor the cure to the size, depth, and type of resin you're using. No more one-size-fits-all approach. I call this the good, the bad, and the beautiful, because the good is the precision, the versatility, and the time-saving convenience. The bad, well, the only bad I found so far was my error, my 2-hour mistake. So read that book and know your resin. I know it now. And the beautiful. And that is the beautiful results I got. That smooth, even cure. Without any dust or no pet dander flying around, because you have a cover over that piece. And no wondering if your piece will still be tacky when you take that cover off. Now, I am not the only one reviewing this beauty. No, I'm not. There are so many of my friends out there that are putting this G3 to the test. And what do I say? I recommend that each one of you go and check out their videos. Every single one of them brings something different to the table. Their own tips, their own tricks, and their experiences. This is not a competition. This is about sharing knowledge so you can make the most informed decision when you invest in your tools. The more perspective you hear, the better your final choices will be. So before I wrap this up, I want to thank my members and subscribers for being here, for supporting my channel and sharing in my resin journey. You all mean the world for me, and I'm grateful to each and every one of you. If you haven't subscribed yet, I would appreciate it if you do today. I share resin art tutorials, tips, and reviews, and an occasional adventure into a new creative journey. Don't forget, check out those other G3 reviews from my amazing friends. Before we go, here's the final touch, my resin light switch cover right here in its new home. I think it's the perfect sparkle to say till next time. This is Donna from Hollywood, California, signing off with love, light, peace, harmony, and oneness. Till next time. Bye-bye now. I Should Craft the Kids Club is next.